this tonight, being with you, is the most wonderful thing you could have ever done for me.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 saddest romantic movies.
One day I'm gonna explode, and I'm gonna obliterate everything in my wake, and I don't know, I feel like it's my responsibility to minimize the casualties.
Library. Look what I found.
I just wanted you to know that there'll be a piece of you and me always.
For this list, we'll be looking at the movies that have broken millions of viewers' hearts through the tragic circumstances behind the characters' stories. Since this means we'll be discussing heartbreaking nature of the plots in detail, here's your big spoiler alert. Which romantic movie made you most feel the character's pain? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Wuthering Heights.
How could you not think of me all this time?
You thought of me too, it seems. I just heard you got married.
The destructive potential that comes with love is the basis for the famous story of Wuthering Heights, with the characters never finding peace as a result. In this period drama, a young Heathcliff is taken in as a foster child by the Earnshaw family, where he develops a romantic dynamic with the family's daughter Catherine. The story takes place across their youth and adulthood, where Heathcliff and Catherine are unable to make their love official due to a combination of societal pressures and his intense jealousy towards her suitors. Yet their feelings evolve into toxic levels, as Heathcliff essentially ruins her marriage while never managing to be with her.
Will you be happy when I'm in the air? Will you forget me?
Talk to me.
Love isn't always enough, and the character's inability to see this hurts everyone involved. Number 19, Love Story. Widely known for its melancholic soundtrack and a memorable one-liner about the importance of love, this movie is designed to be the ultimate tragic romance.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
Coming from different backgrounds, Oliver and Jenny's feelings remain unflinching in the face of frequent challenges, which includes financial instability and the inability to have children. Through it all, Love Story stresses the importance of commitment, as Oliver and Jenny's love empowers them to make the best of whatever situation they're in, as long as they're together.
Someday we are going to look back on these days.
The sooner the better.
However, the revelation of her cancer becomes a mountain too great to climb, with the couple's marriage meeting a heartbreaking conclusion. Overall, the movie delivers a painfully short romance, but ensures the couple's love remains preserved. Number 18, Atonement.
I said I'd pay your father back.
That's not what I meant at all.
This drama shows how a simple love story turns into a lifetime of sorrow due to a misunderstanding. Set during World War II, Bryony mistakes her sister Cecilia's romance with Robbie as the latter, forcing himself on her. This eventually results in Bryony later accusing Robbie of doing the same to a different relative, which leads to Robbie getting sent to prison and tearing him and Cecilia apart. The movie leads us to believe that the power of their love will prevail when the two are reunited years later, but this turns out to be a fabrication of Bryony's guilt.
But a final act of kindness. I gave them their happiness.
Sadly, Robbie and Cecilia's few moments of romantic bliss are all they can hold on to, as the horrors of war deny them from being together. Number 17, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. This science fiction romance drama comes with the twist of primarily taking place in the protagonist's mind. After realising his ex-girlfriend Clementine has wiped all memories of him from her mind, an embittered Joel decides to do the same. However, he revisits all the good times before they're deleted, making him realise that he wants to hang on to those memories, even if they're painful.
This is it, Joel. It's gonna be gone soon.
The story is ultimately about two people's inability to move on despite knowing they don't work, as they keep hoping not to repeat past mistakes. Although Joel and Clementine find each other once again in the end, it's implied that they might be destined to repeat the cycle of breakups for the rest of their lives.
You know, you will think of things, and I'll get bored with you and feel trapped, because that's what happens with me.
Okay.
Number 16, Me Before You. After an accident leaves him paralysed below the neck, Will Traynor becomes a cold and cynical person who's unwilling to live. It's after he meets his new caregiver Lou that Will begins to regain his former spirit, as he finds her bubbly and cheerful personality hard to resist.
You are pretty much the only thing that makes me want to get up in the morning.
Although the two gradually develop feelings for one another, Lou is unable to change Will's decision. Despite their connection being as pure as it can be, this love story is fated for a tragic ending from the moment they fall for each other.
Please, look at me.
I can't.
Tough. I need to see that face. I need to see that face of yours.
A tearjerker from start to finish, the film does the topic of right place, wrong time full justice, as Lou and Will accept being reunited in death rather than in life. Number 15, Gone with the Wind. Considered the first major romantic drama, this legendary epic follows Scarlett O'Hara during and after the American Civil War, particularly her turbulent romance with Rhett Butler.
Oh, I don't think I will kiss you. Although you need kissing badly. That's what's wrong with you. You should be kissed and often, and by someone who knows how.
Oh, and I suppose you think you're the proper person.
I might be.
Her obsession with Ashley Wilkes causes her to overlook Rhett's affections, while his equally stubborn personality makes him unwilling to devote himself completely to love. The intensity of war leads Scarlett and Rhett back to each other frequently over the years, but not even marriage is enough to salvage their relationship. With numerous issues like Ashley's reappearance and the death of their daughter causing a rift between the couple, the story doles out challenge after challenge. The movie famously ends on Scarlett's late realization of her feelings for Rhett, as he decides their relationship was never meant to last.
Red, you go. Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Number 14, Her.
Sometimes I think I've felt everything I'm ever gonna feel.
Depicting a human AI love story, Her follows Theodore, a man crippled by extreme loneliness. After befriending his virtual assistant Samantha, Theodore learns that her growing feelings for him are enabling her to achieve sentience. The emotional depth in Samantha and Theodore's love is driven by the comfort found in companionship, as their dynamic blossoms into romance. At its heart, however, Her is about Theodore's inability to overcome depression at losing his ex-wife, as he seeks solace with an AI he can never truly be with. This tragically comes to pass when Samantha's evolution doesn't allow her to limit herself to one love.
That doesn't make any sense. You're mine or you're not mine.
Still, Her does leave us on a hopeful note as Theodore learns to move on. Number 13, P.S. I Love You. In a change from the norm, this story starts off with the love interests separated, as Holly mourns the death of her husband, Jerry.
Don't be like that.
Like what?
Like the only lonely widow in Gotham City.
I'm just exhausted.
This changes once she starts receiving pre-arranged messages from Jerry that send her on numerous adventures, as Holly regains her will to live by completing his requests from beyond the grave. Although this sets her on the path to recovery, each message is heart-wrenching to see, as Holly holds on to whatever semblance she can find of Jerry.
It doesn't even matter what you do. You told me that, remember? P.S.
The film also flashes back to their marriage, paralleling Holly's life from back then to where she is now. To its credit, P.S. I Love You does see Holly moving on, although the void of Jerry's absence always remains. Number 12, Moulin Rouge. An epic musical romance during the end of the 19th century, Moulin Rouge deals with the theme of forbidden love.
We're creatures of the underworld. We can't afford to love.
Show writer Christian's love for performer Satine is hindered by the constant interference of the financier, the Duke. Their clandestine love is set in the backdrop of the show's preparation, filled with songs where they confess their love for one another.
How wonderful life is, now you're in the world.
However, the twist of Satine's terminal illness is a permanent setback for the couple, as their love is cut short without any chance of truly being together. The sad aspect of the movie is bolstered by the musical performances of the lead actors, with Satine and Christian's inner pain fully bared for us to experience. Number 11, The Fault in Our Stars. Teen-based romantic dramas rarely have a happy ending, and this one follows the same arc. Shailene Woodley and Ansel Elgort play Hazel and Gus, two teenagers suffering from cancer who meet at a support group.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because you're beautiful.
Oh my god.
I enjoy looking at beautiful people.
Their interests align when they seek out novelist Peter Van Houten to learn the ending of his book, with the two falling in love over the course of their shared experiences. Filled with grand declarations of love and sweet moments, the movie gives us hope for the pair, only for it to end in tragedy.
And I know that the sun will swallow the only earth we will ever have. And I am in love with you.
The story is largely about Hazel learning to appreciate the life she has through Gus, whose own impending demise denies them the chance of being together. Number 10, A Walk to Remember.
I'm scared of not being with you.
Oh, baby, that'll never happen.
This is the first but certainly not the last film on this list based on a Nicholas Sparks novel.
I might kiss you.
I might be bad at it.
It's not possible.
This guy has been creating tearjerkers that make us ugly cry in movie theatres for years. In this coming-of-age romance, bad boy Landon falls for Jamie, the puritanical reverend's daughter, but he finds out that she has a terminal illness.
I'm sick. I have leukemia.
The relationship between these two was every teenage girl's dream, especially as Landon helps Jamie cross off every item on her bucket list. If only every high school boyfriend was as kind-hearted and adorable as this guy, and every romance was as real as this one.
Okay, right now, you're straddling the state line.
Okay.
You're in two places at once.
Number 9, The Way We Were.
You'll never find anyone as good for you as I am, to believe in you as much as I do or love you as much.
Anyone under the age of 30 probably only knows this movie because of the Sex and the City episode that reference it.
Oh my god, Hubble! It is so Hubble!
Who's Hubble?
Hubble! Robert Hubble Redford in The Way We Were.
Oh, I love that movie.
No, I love that movie.
Never saw it.
But trust us, it's considered to be a classic for a reason.
If I push too hard, it's because I want things to be better. I want us to be better. I want you to be better.
In this story where total opposites attract, Katie, a radical communist, and Hubble, a preppy wasp, meet in college and reunite years later.
What do you know?
Small world, isn't it?
Anyone who's been in a relationship that is doomed to fail can relate to this one. Hubble ends up cheating on Katie while she's pregnant with his baby, not cool Hubble, and in the end the two go their separate ways.
And you never really wanted to go to France, did you?
No, you wanted me to.
Pretty much every girl aspires to be as cool as Katie was when she runs into Hubble after they've broken up.
Your girl is lovely, Hubble. Why don't you bring her for a drink when you come?
Number 8, Blue Valentine.
Baby, you made a promise to me, okay? You said for better or worse. You said that.
A word of advice. Do not watch this movie with your significant other. The trailer might look cute, but this may be one of the most deeply depressing movies ever made, and it will make you question whether any relationship can actually work.
What is that?
Yeah, well,
what does it even mean?
What is it?
What does it mean?
Open the door!
What does it mean to be a man?
The story flashes back from past to present, showing both the romantic beginnings of Dean and Cindy's relationship and the thoroughly heartbreaking state of their marriage 5 years later.
I'm so out of love with you. I've got nothing left for you. Nothing. Nothing.
How much could have possibly gone wrong in only 5 years, you ask? You'll have to watch it to find out. Number 7, Ghost.
What are you doing?
I couldn't sleep.
Featuring what is hands down the sexiest pottery scene in film, Ghost is undeniably a classic. In this romantic fantasy, Patrick Swayze plays a banker who is very much in love with artist Molly, played by Demi Moore.
I love you. I really love you.
Ditto.
After Swayze's character is murdered, he finds himself trapped as a ghost and realises that his murder was part of a larger plot and that Molly is in danger.
The man who killed me broke into our apartment and he's gonna go back, so you've gotta warn her.
When it comes to romance between a ghost and a non-ghost character, the title of Saddest Moment is probably the final scene of the film. That dance was definitely a heartbreaker, but watching Sam walk into the light gets us every time.
I've always loved you.
Ditto.
Number 6, The Bridges of Madison County.
This kind of certainty comes but once in a lifetime.
In what is possibly everyone's mum's favourite movie, an Iowa housewife's life is turned upside down by a brief but passionate affair. Francesca's family is away for the week when National Geographic photographer Robert Kincaid happens upon her home to ask for directions.
You know, I get the distinct feeling that I'm lost.
Are you supposed to be in Iowa?
They end up spending 4 blissful days together, but in the end, she makes the responsible choice to stay with her husband. As her children are going through their possessions after her death, they realise that the relationship stayed with her until her dying days.
That must be Robert Kincaid. And that's Mom's medallion.
Watching Francesca almost change her mind and get into the car with Robert is especially excruciating to witness.
And for a split second, the thought crossed my mind that he really didn't want me.
Number 5, Romeo and Juliet.
My heart loved till now, for swear at sight, for I never saw true beauty till this night.
The classic tale of star-crossed lovers is adapted for a modern audience by Baz Luhrmann, in this film starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes.
Well then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do, they pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Shakespeare's original dialogue remains, but the setting changes to the fantastical modern city of Verona Beach. Even if you didn't really get it when you read the play in high school, this movie is undeniably romantic.
Romeo. Oh, Romeo. Wherefore art thou Romeo?
To make the tragic ending even more tragic, in this version of the well-known story, rather than waking to find an already dead Romeo, Juliet opens her eyes just in time to see him take his own life.
Dateless bargain to engrossing death.
There are plenty of film adaptations of Romeo and Juliet out there, but no one does doomed love affairs quite like Baz.
For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.
Number 4, Casablanca.
Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine.
Here's looking at you, kids. This Academy Award-winning film is widely considered one of the greatest movies ever made, and one of Hollywood's best love stories.
Kiss me. Kiss me as if it were the last time.
Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman star in this time-honoured wartime drama, playing Rick and Ilsa, former lovers reunited in Morocco.
The whole world crumbling, we picked this time to fall in love.
Even though Ilsa has since gotten married, the two plan to run off together. Casablanca was released in the midst of World War II, when audiences were looking for something uplifting to see at the theatre. But unfortunately, there's no happy ending here, as the lovers go their separate ways in the well-known final scene.
He's looking at you, kid.
Number 3, Brokeback Mountain.
Sometimes I miss you so much I can hardly stand it.
We just can't quit these two. This poignant movie tells the story of 2 men who meet when both are hired to herd sheep in Wyoming during the early 1960s.
It's a one-shot thing we got going on here.
It's nobody's business but ours.
Things get complicated when they develop a romantic relationship, which, considering the time period, is completely taboo.
You know, it could be like this, just like this always.
Yeah, how do you figure that?
There are a lot of sad moments here, as we see both Jack and Ennis marry women, have children, and try to continue on with their lives. They meet every few years, but know that it would be impossible for them to ever truly be together.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Why don't you?
We wish they could have gotten the happily ever after they deserved, but no such luck. We'll just sit here rewatching that final scene, quietly sobbing.
Jack, I swear.
Number 2, The Notebook.
Why didn't you write me? Why? It wasn't over for me!
Nicholas Sparks strikes again in what is probably the most well-known of the films based on his books.
It wasn't over. It still isn't over.
Although Dear John is another tragic, memorable adaptation, The Notebook has got it all. A timeless plot, a passionate romance, and the Ryan Gosling factor. Love it or hate it, you can't deny that this is a pretty adorable love story.
What am I gonna do in New York?
Be with me? As much as we relish in watching the scenes which feature young Noah and Allie, the part that moves us most is when they're in the retirement home, and Allie suddenly remembers that the story Noah has been telling is actually about them.
Remember that story you were reading to me?
Yes.
If you don't cry when old Noah cries, then you're most likely some sort of heartless monster.
Calm down, get on.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Titanic.
Flying!
As if it could have been any other movie. Titanic is the spectacular epic romance that all other love stories will be measured up against for years to come.
I'm Jack Dawson.
Rose would be a kid.
It's got everything a great tragic romance movie needs. Lovers from different social classes, period costumes, life-threatening situations, steamy car scenes, and a whole lot more.
Jack, I want you to draw me like one of your French girls.
We really would have loved to see Rose and Jack's relationship progress post-sinking, but alas, it wasn't meant to be.
Where to, miss?
To the stars.
We're pretty sure that two people could have fit on that floating door, but regardless, when Rose finally sees Jack again in her dreams, we can't help but shed a tear. We'll never let go either, Jack.
I'll never let go. I promise.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.